to introduce you to Dr. Tracy Rogers. She's the director of our Human Movement Program, and she's going to talk to us about motivation today. I had somebody request this topic, but I didn't know how much I needed it at this time, so I'm really glad you're presenting, and thank you. So I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you. How do I turn this on? I push the button.
You got to hold it. There's patience. Patience.
I got that. Okay, so I don't want to take up tons of your time today, and I don't want to bore you with super dry information. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a gut check presentation on motivation, a real practical guide. I encourage you as we talk about this topic to think about, in realistic terms, about the things in your life that you are very motivated for, things that you wish you had more motivation for, and we're going to kind of talk about how it all sort of comes back to us as individuals when we're struggling with this topic. So I like this quote: some people dream of success while others wake up and work hard at it. So just something to think about. All right, so what is motivation? I want some participation here. What do you guys think motivation is? How would you define it? Just a word or two. Yes?
A desire for a preferred future.
Okay, good. All right, so some sort of a desire. Good. What else?
A goal.
A goal. Good. Anything else?
I think a drive.
Okay, good. So drive is sort of the word that I like to use to describe it too, because it's the drive towards that goal, or it's the drive towards that desired outcome. So in other words, another way to look at it, motivation is the reason we do something. So it's that fire that burns in our belly that gets us out of bed, or that gets us making the choices that we want to be making. So it is that driving force. So why is it important? Why is motivation an important thing? Why do we have to have this drive? What does it influence? If you're super motivated to do something,
You do it quicker, faster, better.
Your effort, how much effort you put into it.
okay, good. So effort is a huge thing, right? So if we're motivated for something, how hard do we try? Hard, right? If we don't have much motivation, little drive, we don't care, how much effort do we put in? Right? It's reflective of that. Okay, what else does it influence besides effort, or how hard we work at something? Okay, good, exactly. So our ability to persist. So how many of you have started something but have quickly quit when it got hard? All right, this is all of us in this room, right? So in one time or another, we get super fired up. We start something, and then we realize it's a little bit harder than we thought it was going to be. So it's like, oh, and we quickly talk ourselves out of it and tell ourselves, oh, that wasn't really that good of an idea. Maybe we say, it wasn't really that important to me anyways. Okay, and so we quickly create a reason to get out. And maybe, when we think about those situations, maybe it's because your reason or your drive was not strong enough, or was not there for the right reason. Okay, so we're able to quickly back ourselves out. So why is it important? Because it influences how hard you try and how much you're going to stick with it. Okay? Very few things ever do we do that we don't face obstacles or failures, or we have to pick ourselves back up and keep trying. And so your true motivation is going to give you that ability to persist and to keep working hard. Okay, so what motivates you? What are some of the things that motivate you guys? Think about some of the things that you would feel very motivated for in your life. What are some of the reasons?
Family.
Okay, good. Family is a huge reason. Okay, so if you think about your habits, some of the things that we do every day, we come to work, right? Why do we come to work? So we get paid.
We love everybody here.
So we love it. Okay, good. Right. But ultimately, okay, if we look at the big picture, you know, like we all work to generate income, right? Because if we didn't generate income, we have some level of responsibility, okay, that is motivating us to earn that income. Now, for some, it may be our family and feeding our children, kind of important, right? For others, it may be something else. Yes?
That's why I said in my opening comments about a preferred future, because having a preferred future of homelessness doesn't frankly appeal to
Yes.
me.
Yeah. And
That's my preferred future.
you're exactly right. So we kind of weigh those consequences, and for all of us in this room, we choose to work. We have chosen to work hard to get to the point where we have the jobs that we have, and that is definitely part of that motivation. Now, there's other people, we may know some of them in our own lives, who haven't made that same choice and are not nearly as motivated by those types of responsibilities as you may be. And so it's not, your motivation definitely doesn't mean that that's cast out or universal by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, good. How about wearing a seatbelt? How many of you wear a seatbelt every time you get in the car? Okay, good. So why do you wear a seatbelt besides just the habit of clicking it? Safety. Okay, good. So other people, some people may be motivated by safety. Other people may be motivated by what?
To avoid a ticket.
Exactly, to avoid a ticket. Good. Okay, how about brushing your teeth? How many of you brush your teeth every single day and bathe? Okay. So these are things. So some of these are habits, but we're also motivated to not smell, right? So when I exercise early in the morning, my children run downstairs and I'll be in the kitchen and they'll come running up when they get out of bed to give me a hug, and they see me in my workout clothes and they go, and they put on the brakes. They will not touch me if I have sweat on my body. So if I want my children to touch me, I must shower. So these are kind of silly examples, but if you think about the small tasks and the big tasks in our lives, they're all driven by some amount of motivation. So what are some of the things that you wish you were more motivated to do? Okay, get up early. Okay, good. How many of you wish you had motivation to get up earlier? Okay, how many of you are total morning people? Okay, okay, so this is an interesting one, to get up early. So I've always been somewhat of a morning person, but I have 2 small kids. So those morning hours are my favorite hours of the whole day because my house is quiet, the day hasn't started, everything seems sort of still, and so that serves as a motivation for me to get out of bed, for one. So good, getting up early. What else? How about eating habits? How many of you wish you had motivation to change your eating habits? Okay, good. 1, 2 people are telling the truth. Okay, so why? What is? So if we talk about health behaviors, okay, how many of you wish you're motivated to be more physically active? Okay, good. So what are some of these reasons? What are some of the things holding you back? What do you guys think? Okay, so that would be a motivator, or you're saying that that's something that's holding you back?
That's what holds me back.
Okay,
Yeah.
like for having energy, or
Yeah.
okay,
I wrote down a couple times that I would like to do more, but I just, it's too much.
okay, okay, good. What else? Okay, it's hot outside. Okay, good.
It takes time.
It takes time. Okay, good. We're going to talk about some of these excuses in a minute. Because we all have them. But it's interesting to think, like, all right, what do I wish that I did differently in my life? Okay? Maybe it's work related. Maybe it's health related. Maybe it's showering more. Maybe it's getting up early, okay? So big things, small things. I think it's interesting to have these dialogues with yourself to think, okay, why am I not doing these things? Everything in my knowledge base tells me it's a good idea, right? So is the problem that Americans don't know that they should exercise more?
No.
Right. Is the problem that people don't know how to make healthy choices when eating food? Now, some cases maybe, but by and large, those aren't the issues. The issues are the taking action and the starting and to sticking with it. So let's talk a little bit more. I love this quote too. Okay, so what is holding you back? So let's talk about some of these excuses. I heard some great ones. I heard time. All right, I heard energy or menopause. Okay, I heard the weather. So I have a friend that it's hilarious because I get these texts from her at like 4:30 in the morning. It's like, oh, I don't think I'm going to go today. It's a little windy out. Oh, is it raining at your house? I'm like, what? What are you doing? Like, you're already up, clearly. You're sending a text message. No, okay, but we all have a varying amount. Like, you know, you look outside and you're like, oh yeah, looks like a storm. Think I better stay in. So we're all real quick to make excuses. So time is a great one. How many of you would say that your lack of health behaviors being where you want to be are a result of time? Okay, good. So this is obviously the most common excuse, and we've probably all heard that it's a lack of a priority instead of a lack of time. So lack of time is our most common excuse, but I think that on average, Americans are watching like 20 hours of TV a week or something astonishing like that. And so it's an interesting, time is a real interesting discussion to have. And so if that is what you feel like you're struggling with, and I know that a lot of you, juggle work and families and responsibilities, and so you have to fit it in. When it's a priority, the time will be there. Okay, and the weather is something that I know Sarah exercises indoors as well to combat that. I exercise before the sun comes up so that I can be outside. And so there's a solution. If you want to get into a debate, every single excuse, there's a solution. Very seldom is there something in our lives when there is an absolute definite reason that you cannot do something. Maybe like a true physical injury. But then I would say, move your upper body. If your knee is hurt, doesn't mean you can't eat healthy, right? Or you can't make better choices. So what a time. So anyway, it's an interesting thing. If you wanted to kind of catch yourself over the next couple of days, the excuses that you're making that are preventing you from doing the things that you want to do. I do this all the time. I catch myself saying, oh no, I can't do that. Whatever it is, and then you kind of think like, really? Is that true? Okay, so what are the distractions in your lives, do you think? If we talk about health behaviors, if we talk about healthy eating, we talk about physical activity, what are the distractions that are preventing you? Okay, good. A spouse ordering pizza. Okay, good. What else? Family, okay. Kids, okay. Work, good. Yes?
The best intentions to work out being derelict, if you will, because of a project that you get involved in, and you say, oh my gosh, I'm so deep into this, I just can't go to my work.
I can't peel myself away from what I'm doing. Okay, good. So all these things are really great. So those of you that said family, kids, spouse ordering pizza, so I would say I would kind of group those into a support category, okay? So some type of social support. So I think we all know the things that we have accomplished best in our lives are those things in which we had support for. And so this is truly a group effort. Any type of achievement task is a group effort. And so maybe it is, coming up with a plan and saying, all right, we cannot have pizza every Friday night when you want to order it. And explaining those reasons, or getting your family on board, or, if someone said kids back there. And so figuring out if it's activity, how to incorporate your kids, or to do it when they're sleeping, or whatever the case may be, and incorporating them on your healthy eating as well. And my kids eat what we eat. They have no exceptions. They eat what we eat, and they know it. They tell me like, oh, my friends, they get to bring chips for snack. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah. I tell them my mommy doesn't let us have chips, and they get it, but then we also talk about why we make the choices that we make as well. So sometimes you have to build your own support. You can't just expect it to be there. The same thing is true in office spaces. If you're going to get dived in, you tell someone like, hey, kick me out of here at 4:30 to get to my exercise class or whatever it is. Tell other people what it is that you're trying to achieve. It definitely helps, and sometimes you just have to get going and allow the motivation to build as well. Okay, I talk to and teach fitness professionals, and we talk a lot about competition in the fitness industry, and everyone everyone immediately assumes that it's the gym down the street, or it's the personal trainer next door, or the home workout video, that's their competition. So our competition, all of us, for making good health behaviors, for sticking to what we say we're going to do, have really nothing to do with any of that. Our competition is the couch, is the TV show that we're dying to see, is the pizza that you can just, call and it's late, let's just grab something quickly. It is meeting friends for happy hour. Those are the things that are the competition we have in our lives for being what we want to be. So all those things, if you think of those things as like distractors that are, constantly attacking you and your, desires for pursuing something bigger. And so kind of think about those things in your lives that are, pushing on you. And it's amazing what will happen when you are willing to take away one of those distractors at a time. All of a sudden, the things that we have this inner desire for, those obstacles decrease because we're able to, they have a smoother path because our purpose becomes much clearer as well. Okay, questions? Let's see. Okay, so a couple of things. Something that I like to talk about and think about is that we can all say that I want to change, or I want to lose 10 pounds, or I want to be healthier. But the truth is, until you truly become intolerant of your current circumstances, you are not going to put in the work that is required to make a lasting change. So it's real easy for us to say, like, oh, I really wish I could work out more. Or I'd love to be able to fit into those old clothes. Or I really want to lose 10 pounds. But do you really? Are you really willing to put in the work required to get what it is? Maybe it's a work goal, something you're motivated for work. And you say, oh, I really like this promotion, or I really like this. Are you truly willing to fight for that personally? Because we all know being motivated and sticking to something takes a lot of work. And so I like to say that you have to first become intolerant with where you currently are. You have to draw that line in the sand and say, this is it. And that motivation is going to follow. With that, once that line in the sand is drawn, you have to define a clear purpose. Why is it that you want to lose 10 pounds? Is it because you want to fit in clothes? Is it because you're going to some sort of a reunion or going on vacation? Is it because you went to a doctor and they said that you had to improve certain markers, health markers? Is it because of your kids? Think about the reasons that we say we want to do something, because without that clearly defined purpose as to why you want to do something, sure, I'll eat the pizza.
Can I just throw something at you that relates to that first point there? I heard a really good quote just the other day that said, accept what you cannot change, change what you can accept.
Absolutely, and that's a great quote. And that it speaks exactly to this point. And if there is something truly that you cannot accept in your life, and you are, firm on that, you'll figure out a way to do it. And so it's an important thing to think about. So when you say, oh, we really got to start eating better, or I really got to start working out more, or I really got to start working on this project, or I got to go for that. Like, you got to think about why. Because when you have that why in your head, and the people around you know why you're working for what you're working for, that effort is going to be higher. You're going to persist when those obstacles get thrown at you. So if we talk about the pizza that we order, so everyone has those moments where you eat the pizza, and that pizza can represent anything, right? So it's just a distraction that's thrown at us. So we have a couple choices. So Saturday morning you can wake up and be like, well, clearly I'm off track now, let's have some pancakes and bacon. Or you can say, like, all right, that was a bump in the road, and I'm still steady on my path that I had. And that's not just about eating, but kind of, can be figurative of any task that we're working on. That obstacles come, challenges are going to come, and how we deal with them, and how we proceed after them is going to determine our ultimate success. And it all comes down to having a clear reason why. Why is it that I want to be whatever it is we're fighting for? And then it comes, you have to believe that you can do it. Okay, so I see this a lot with talking about exercise and weight management, is that, you know, how many of you have tried to lose weight more than one time in your life? Okay, and so you may go into a new strategy of weight loss, okay, thinking that this is going to be the key, but in the back of your mind probably thinking like, I'm sure this isn't going to work. You know, I've tried everything that you could possibly try, so, but what the heck, I'll give it a try. Okay, but you have to truly wrap your mind around the belief, like, okay, I'm doing it. This is the last, like, straw. I know I can succeed with this. And so you have to have that belief. When we go into something thinking like, you know, I'm a little bit cautious about it, we're not going to give our best effort. We're not going to persist when things got hard, because then we're going to say like, yeah, it figures it didn't work. Right? So this again goes for anything. And then the other thing is being willing to be committed. And to be truly motivated, we have to succeed at a task and to use that initial motivation that we had. So there's another point is that there's excitement and then there's like that true motivation. Okay, so it's real easy to get excited about something. But we need that motivation to help us persist through. And you have to be willing to be committed, and you have to be willing to change your mindset so that you're in it for the long haul. Like, hey, this isn't something I'm doing for 2 weeks, or this isn't something that I'm going to try for a month, but I'm in this for the long haul. And I have the belief, and I have my reasons, and I'm not coming back to this place that I am currently. And so you're committed and you're willing to stay committed to that cause. Questions? Okay, the last thing I put up is, and Jeff said it at the beginning, I told you I was going to take very much of your time, but I think we have to think about the reasons that we do everything that we do. So this is my family, but it truly is the purpose and reason that I get out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning to go run. It is the reason that I come to work every day, that I make them eat fruits and vegetables for their snacks instead of chips. Because there is a bigger purpose in all of that, and I hope that at some point that, you know, and I think that at some point when my girls are old enough that I can run a marathon with them at me by my side, that we can do it together. And so those are the types of things that I think about to keep me on track, because it is easy to eat the pizza, it's easy to push snooze on the alarm. And so you have to really not just say like, oh, my family's great, I'm going to be motivated by them, but you have to really dig deep and think about, okay, what is it about my family, or whatever it is that your purpose is, what is it about them that is going to drive these behaviors? What lessons am I teaching them about the things that I'm choosing to do? And you really have to have those conversations with yourselves to find that motivation, because if they're not worth fighting for, if I'm not worth fighting for them, then I'm not going to fight for anything, because like if they don't get my engines rolling, then nothing else is. And so you really do, you have to think about whatever that driving force is in your life, and not just say like, oh, my family's great, but again, like dig deep and say, this is why, this is my why, because I want them to know that it's possible, or that this is an option, or that we, you know, this is why we choose to do these things. And that is where you start to get that motivation. It is very easy for all of us, and we see it everywhere you look in this country, for people to just go through the motions, right? And so every day becomes like a spin cycle. And after I had my 2 kiddos in 15 months, and it was about a year after my little one was born, and I remember thinking, okay, like my life has been like a blur the last year and a half, and I have no control over anything. And it's when I remember my husband and I sat down and I said, okay, I have to get a grip. And that's when I started exercising early in the morning, and we started making changes, because it's real easy to just get caught up in the chaos of your day, and you have to have these gut checks with yourself and the people around you to say like, all right, it is time. Like we have a bigger mission than this. And some of this stuff sounds a little bit lofty, but it's true, because otherwise it's too easy to let those distractions and those excuses in, and you have to continually fight them. You really do. Every time your schedule changes, think about your lives and your motivation. So something like menopause, so a health status changes, so your energy levels drop. And you take on a new project or responsibility and your time constraints change, all right? Your kids start school and so their schedules change and it kind of throws everything off. I mean, we're constantly, our life is, nothing is ever constant. Things are being thrown at us. And so that's why you have to have the foundation, and then you allow yourself adjustment periods, but you're able to get refocused because your reason, your why, or your motivation is very, very clear. And it allows to bring them back. So if anything, I encourage you guys to really think about the driving forces in your life, and to talk to your peers and create support groups, and to think about why it is that you do the things that you do, and why it is you'd like to do some things differently. So do you guys have any questions? I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, you said 35 minutes, Tanya.
I know, that's my question. I want to show a couple of other things that we have here at AT Still, but go ahead and ask your question.
It's not a question, it's just an observation. You were very, very clear in your motivation, very specific. You want to see yourself, or you envision yourself running a marathon with your girls at your side.
Right.
And I think that that's a big part of this, is sometimes we say, well, I want to lose weight.
Yeah.
Vague, you know, but if you say, I want to see myself at a, whatever, a
Yeah.
size 10 by X date, and this is why it's important to me. But I noticed as you explained it, you were extremely specific on what your goal was.
Absolutely. Yes, I totally agree that you have to be willing to dig down to that level, that you can get specific and you can say, yeah, I want to lose weight. Like, no, I want to be able to, play with my grandkids, and I want to be able to hike that mountain, or, whatever those things may be. Like you have to envision yourself succeeding at those, and that's what keeps you moving and keeps you away from those distractions and off the couch. Any other questions?
I know, I'm good, very good.
Thank you.
Is that there is an ATSU Healthy Lifestyle group, if I can find it. Just so I can. Yes, I'm in a lot of groups, sorry.
I'm glad the Healthy Lifestyle Group is the top of the list.
Where is
You
that?
go
What?
to your Google Plus.
Oh, thank you.
Like
Let's
after this, go down.
go down.
Yeah.
Stop!
Just say continue to Google Plus.
See, I'm not very patient when it comes to computers sometimes.
Go over to home on the left. And there's communities, so it should
We
be.
have a community, yes, sorry, it's a community, because I think inspirational quotes, no. What's on that? Oh, that's cool.
Also, just depending on where you were before Tony, there was a post of the group. You
Yeah,
might be able to do it
exactly.
that way.
So I found out yesterday, one of our alums from KCOM, actually, right there, the ATSU Healthy Lifestyle Group. And let's see. It's achieving optimal physical activity and nutrition. And so you can join this group. Jeff posts different things. Anybody can post different things. And you can be notified and those types of things. It's really fun just to kind of read. Yesterday we found out that this Walmart gets on the shelf. It's a throwaway plate, basically, I believe. It's not reusable. But this is one of the products, ideas that came up from a KCOM student. This is their like Shark Tank thing. But anyway, it's not gonna.
It's a portion control play.
It's a portion control play for children. Yeah. So it's really cool. So go out there, enjoy, you can kind of see it there. And so, anyway, there's different great ideas, and this talks about the fitness challenge, the fall fitness challenge. After, the form will not be accepting responses until after August 26th, so if you want to try to get on that. So that's just about the Stillwell team. We have a couple of different Stillwell teams, whether it's on this campus or the Missouri campus that works with students and everything. So, that might be part of your motivation to go out there and look for different quotes and different things. If you want to join, you can just join. You can just look on the Google Plus groups.
When you all register for the Mile Challenge, because I know you are, I'll enroll you in this healthy support group, because we're doing it all through that group.
Okay. So thanks for coming. Any other questions for anybody? Keep in mind those dates, September 24th, flu shots here on campus. October 15th, that's a Tuesday, will be fitness assessments. December will be open enrollment. December 19th will be the holiday party.
What's the cost for the flu shot?
The flu shot for employees will be free, like it has been for the last 3-4 years. So it'll be free.
Are you only offering it that day?
We're looking at a second day as well, but that will be the main day. Yes, we're looking at a second. You can get a free flu shot through the health plan now, and you do not have to be on the health plan to get a flu shot that day. So, just stop by. Thanks for coming. Have a great day.